had it. They sold the caravan Ray lived in, and then would, take his social security, get a bit of kibosh out of that for, government like welfare and whatnot. Suzanne Allen, Ray Davies' ex, was the next to go. She went as John Bunting. She wanted to get with John. John just found her rather annoying. Any money she had or was getting went swiftly after. She was reported missing. John Bunting spoken with, but that was it. Michael Gardner disappeared in 1997. See, he was a cousin of Robert Wagner's girlfriend. At one point, Robert Wagner, his girlfriend's son, and Michael Gardner were like playing a little board game together. And at one point, Michael Gardner put his hand over Wagner's girlfriend's son's mouth, like to shush him. Robert Wagner was horrified by that, as Michael Gardner was gay. Next was Barry Vanessa Lane, who disappeared in October 1997. Barry had to go as he knew too much, with Barry's boyfriend, Thomas Trevelyan, found a month later hanging in a tree. Police thought he got up there and did it to himself. He didn't. Gavin Porter disappeared in April 1998. He was a friend of James Vlasikis. He was also a drug user. John Bunting wasn't a fan of that, and therefore wasn't a fan of Gavin Porter being alive. Now, much like they had done to Suzanne Allen, with all of their victims, or nearly all their victims, they continued to withdraw from their social security. So they would get their details, their PIN numbers and all that stuff before they killed them. Get paid. In August 1998, Troy Eude disappeared. James Vlasikis told John Bunting that Troy, his half-brother, sexually abused him when he was younger. So, Troy Eude was also on the rock spider wall. Troy was tortured to death by Bunting, Vlasikis, Wagner, and Hayden. He was tortured while the album Throwing Copper by Live was playing. As John Bunting, he loved that album. Now, I think, though, that's torture enough. So, I hear, what you're asking, right? Some of these people who disappeared would be found. It would be, an unsolved murder. Their bones are found. Or, like Trevelyan, he'd be found in a tree and it'd be ruled as suicide. But most of them just disappeared. So, where did they go to? John Bunting had a few barrels in his shed, and he kept digging holes. The barrels and the holes are separate, by the way. Some went into the holes, some went into the barrels in the shed. Running out of room over here. Those barrels, John would, from time to time, have a go. He'd pop the head in. Yeah, that's a rotting corpse, alright. Cool. Remember John Bunting, he had no sense of smell. The others said it was, it was what you can imagine